Everybody, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is your girl Kim with another video for you guys. Okay, I asked that you guys just consider subscribing to the channel and like the video if it resonates. Now, I wanted to get on here and talk about some things. Okay, it is, as you all know, a 7 day, and I've been doing a lot of spiritual work. Just naturally, intuitively, and you know, just going with the flow of the universe. Okay, so it's not like I woke up today like, oh, it's a 7 day and let's do this and let's do that. No, things happen whether we are aware or unaware of it. Things happen, subconsciously. Okay, that means for a lot of us, involuntarily. Okay, or without planning. Okay. So with that being said, I woke up today and I did a lot of videos on spirituality and what's going on as far as the energy goes, and I shared it with y'all. So I'm gonna share this too. Okay, so I'm outside right now because I'm outside right now because I feel like coming out here doing this video for y'all. Okay, and I wouldn't rather be in no other place but right here with the universe. Okay. So we always look up too. Why y'all think that is? We always looking up to the sky, feeling the longing, or when we feel out of place, when we going through things, mostly we look up to the sky for God or the universe to like be there or to answer us in some way or show us some sign. Because all of us want to know one thing, when we go through things in life, and that is, what is the purpose of life? What is my life purpose? What am I here to do? It's so many questions we have and we ask the universe. Well, the universe chose me, yours truly, to answer that for y'all with the best of my ability, talents, and spiritual gifts, etc., with downloads and a video that he guided to, or she. Okay. So this video that I want to bring up and discuss, I do not own the rights to anything in this movie, but I'm using it as quotations, and everything is put in quotation marks, okay? When I talk about this movie, because everything is all allegedly, okay? And for entertainment purposes only. I have to say that for YouTube. And so I won't get sued. So with that being said, you guys, again, today is a day of intuition, mostly focused on spirituality and introspection, right? So I just decided to go with the flow of the energy, okay? Even though I want to get out here, I want to go make money, all that. But you're supposed to do that on an 8 day or whatever. So this is how you go along with the energy of the universe and the universal laws, okay? So y'all know me, I like to be obedient. So with that being said, again, I'm just going about my day, shooting my regular, and this movie came to me. So the movie I'm mentioning or bringing up and basing this information off of is mainly, you know, a download that God used for me to understand better, okay? And the movie is Lucy, okay? So if you haven't watched that, I'm not going to tell y'all too much about the movie, right? It's very interesting. It's a thriller to me, and I would watch it 100 times, okay? Because for me, it is very informative. They say a lot of things done to us are put in plain sight, but it's put that way, put there so that we won't believe in it, right? It's movies and theaters and stuff like that so we can believe it's fake, right? So I was getting from the universe that it's not fake, you guys. This movie tells a truth, right? And so I want to do one thing. So I'm going to pause this real quick and do that one thing, and I'm going to be right back. Oh, shit. So I knew it. I knew it. I felt it. So what I wanted to do, y'all, with the movie Lucy is I wanted to put, and this is not a coincidence, I wanted to put the title into a numerology calculator, right? So that I can see what the numbers equaled. And Lord, behold, it's a seven, okay? So it's also in alignment with today. So it's not a coincidence why I'm talking about this movie today on the seventh day, okay? The word Lucy in Pythagorean numerology equals a seven. In Chaldean numerology, it equals a four. Sevens again talk about introspection, intuition, the universe. Okay, that's my God number. I told y'all that in the seventh video. Go check it out if you haven't already. Okay, so I'm not gonna concentrate too long on the number seven, but we're talking about Lucy in this movie, and it relate into our life purpose, right? So with that being said, it makes perfect sense now. I wanted to double check to make sure because as y'all can see, I took notes and I put that like, do Lucy equals seven? And I had to prove things to myself sometimes, like that this is really the universe talking to me. Pages of notes, okay, and that's not even a coincidence because it's made up of, and you'll hear this a lot, especially throughout the Bible, of it resonating with the number three in Trinity, right? The Father, Son, Holy Ghost, or the Holy Spirit, etc., etc. Okay, I got three pieces of paper, so even that's not a coincidence. But anyway, something told me to get a pencil and take notes, and I'm like, what the fuck? Feeling like I'm in school again, taking notes, you know. And I was always one that I just take out the main things out of the notes, and so yeah, that's what I did pretty much. So I felt like this movie was a download for me to tell y'all about life and why we exist, okay? And this movie really broke it down, right? When you ask about your life purpose, why are you here? What is the point? Why did the universe do us like this? Or what is the universe doing? Or whatever questions you might have or tend to want to come up with, okay? This just helps to explain some of these things. Again, all of this is allegedly, okay? But I'm just telling y'all what I feel. I feel like it's very true. It's very real. And they put it in plain sight so we would not believe it, okay? But anyway, um, I got all this information, mostly 20 minutes towards the end of the movie, okay? So I didn't watch the whole movie, and the what I noticed about this movie is nothing mattered like it mattered in the end. And that's not even a coincidence. A lot of people say we are in the end of times, right? So in the last 20 minutes of that movie, I got most of this information, okay? And that's where I'm taking it from. And again, this is all in quotation marks. So Lucy was a download for me as far as existence go, okay? We always have these questions. We think we so unique being humans, and you know, a lot of us don't even know that we spiritual first before we even become humans, okay? Even though we know we go through the whole 9 months in our mother's womb, and we start off as tiny cells with a nucleus in the middle, okay? We know these things, but yet and still, it's hard for a lot of us to wrap our mind around the fact that we are spiritual beings first before we are human beings. Um, and so, you know, we sacrifice ourselves, you know, well, the first thing I wrote down was human equals sacrifice, and that equals knowledge passed down. So that gave me everything I needed to know about human existence in itself. Okay. One being us being humans, us coming here, living our life, sacrificing a lot of our time, our attention, our, you know, the years, all that gets sacrificed. Okay. And what are we doing here? We are learning. Okay, and what we do with that knowledge, we pass it down, usually to our children, our families, our siblings, even our friends, stuff like that. And we do this automatically, subconsciously, right? And it's just a way of life to us. And again, I wrote down human equals sacrifice equals knowledge passed down. So the next thing I wrote, and I'm not going to tell y'all everything I wrote on here, I'm just going to talk about it, okay? But we talking about existence and how humans feel like they so unique, right, from other species and entities and energy in itself, right? We feel like we different, okay? So when we come here into this world, everything gets measured from our time of birth on down to our body size. I mean, you see this in labor and delivery. Before you can even hold your baby, doctors and nurses are taking your baby over there to a scale, measuring them. Why y'all think that is? Because that is when you go into the system. This system being the matrix amongst many other systems. Like, okay, so how can I put this? Our body is a system within systems, right? And it has different systems, the muscular system, the skeletal system, et cetera, et cetera. It's like 13, maybe 15, 16 systems inside of the human body. So when we're talking about the universe, it's a lot of systems within that system, right? And so just take, for example, the system, aka the matrix that we live in, that we call home, that we call Earth, right? It also has, it also is a system within systems, okay? So everything is sort of like similar, like a leaf to your hand, okay? The leaf of a tree to the palm of your hand. It's all, even the back of your hand, it's all similar, okay? And what I'm trying to say is, like, we live in a system with many systems inside of that system. So a system within systems. So in the matrix, we have the social systems, which is how I'm talking to y'all right now with social media, etc. These are systems, okay, different platforms, social systems. Now, there's also judicial systems when we talk about the court, the law, man-made law, okay? It's different from universal law, but it's still systems, okay? So the universe has a system as well. The courts has a system. The education has a system. When we educating our children and ourselves, we do that through an educational system, etc. Okay, so these are all the different systems, and it's many. Okay, and they are basically created and designed as forms of units of measure. Okay, just like the baby that they measure coming out of the womb. So keep that in mind. So then I put ignorance equals chaos minus knowledge. Okay, so that means even the Bible say, "My people perish for a lack of knowledge." Right. So that means people don't know. They lack knowledge. That makes you ignorant. Okay, no matter what race or whatever, you know, knowledge is power. A lot of people say that. They don't say it for no reason, okay? And certain people know this, and they are the people in power, okay? So, with that being said, ignorance equals chaos. So, when you're ignorant or you don't have knowledge, it can, have shit just all out of muck. I mean, running amok, out of order, out of divine alignment, etc. Okay, and this is because of lack of knowledge. So stay with me, y'all. So this is minus the wisdom and knowledge, that might be gained, passed down, okay, or again taught to us. So what they teach us, 1 plus 1 equals 2, but she says in this movie that 1 plus 1 never equal 2. I heard somebody else say this, and that's what made me start doing a little bit more digging. Like, I heard the man named Terrence Howard say this before, right? He allegedly broke the Matrix or something like that. He's been talking about it. Okay, this is a man with money in the movies, all that. Like, he's famous, right? So I don't know. I need to probably look more into him, but he is significant too. So she says 1 plus 1 never equal 2, never equal 2. And this is what they taught us, though, as a form of a system. She said there's really no numbers, no letters. It's all been codified, is the word she used, okay, so that we can phantom the unfathomable, basically, is what she said. Long story short. So I took a whole bunch of other notes. So the whole movie was about the human mind, brain, cerebral, going from 10%, which is what we allegedly only use, and it's talking about a lady named Lucy that actually turned out using 100% of her cerebra or her brain. So that made her what? Um, Immortality or immortal. She was able to control herself, others, and even matter. Okay. She stated that her cells was replicating and reproducing, which is the same thing ours do, right? But at a rapid rate. Okay. They communicate with every other cell, is what she said, which is where I got collective consciousness from. Now, I get on here all the time and I tell y'all I'm tapping into collective consciousness. That's how, okay? Stay with me now. It is an exchange of information and or knowledge per second, again, being reciprocated, being reproduced, okay, and being passed down. So, in this way, our cells communicate. And through this communication, our cells become matter. So, this is what makes everything solid or solidified. It's the word I heard. And then I put humans in form. Okay, so this is where we become humans. This is where your body is doing all this inside your mother's womb to make you this human. Okay, so this is how I feel like matter is formed into humans and how we are formed. Okay, and those cells do this, okay, by communicating. So together, they take on the form, which equals the human body. This is where also deformity and reformity happens, which makes perfect sense. So when a baby is in the womb, and I know this firsthand because I told y'all about my son, I wrote a book about it, Two Hearts Broken. I ain't gonna bring that up because this ain't about him, even though his birthday is this month. Okay, but it's this thing called deformity where sometimes babies come out and things just be the wrong shape, sizes, and in the wrong places sometimes, and doctors call that child and or human being deformed. Okay, so this is where deformity and reformity happens. Okay, now let me turn the page because when I show y'all I wrote notes, I wrote notes. So with certain cells in our bodies, they are able to do this, right? Where I got shape shifting from. Okay, so now y'all see how this really relates to spirituality. So yeah, this where shape shifting come in at, where the cells are actually deforming and reforming, and us as human beings are able to do that too. Okay, and a lot of people don't know that or want to believe that, but it's true. So she mentions that it's all the same, the shape shifting, and she'll show you in a movie where she's turning from reptile to human and etc. and whatever else the fuck she turned into. But she stated that it's all the same and makes no different what form it takes on, right? So that's where I came up with reincarnation at, okay? And this makes perfect sense. And this is how you know, we come here and we become different things, whether it's an animal, a bird, a plant, or whatever. This is also at this stage where deformity and reformity is happening or taking place, okay? So I feel like this is where reincarnation takes place, okay? Um, So this all before you born or while you in the womb is what I'm getting, okay, or before you in the womb, somewhere around there, while this deformity and reformity is happening, okay. So codified our existence basically is what she mentioned to make it more comprehensive, basically saying for it to exist. Okay. So basically, what she's saying is we created these systems so our small minds can wrap around the fact that we are big, basically. You know what I mean? So we created these scales, these measurements, so that we can make sense of things, right? Because people fear what they don't understand or what don't make sense, right? We see that every day. So the scales and the systems are created so that we can forget the unfathomable is what she said. I can't pronounce that damn word. Or it's unfathomable scale. Y'all gonna laugh at me, but whatever. I'll write the word at the bottom of this video when I'm done. So yeah, then I wrote humans equal the unit of measure. So we came up with this unit of measure, not God, right? This is why I always felt like you can't put God in a box. God is too big. So the world equals not governed by mathematical laws. So that's basically saying that humans are not the true unit of measure. It's nothing unique about humans, and there's nothing different about humans. We are all one and the same. Basically, and it's saying the world, as far as the world goes, is not governed by just mathematical laws, but universal laws, okay? And if sped up, for example, a cell is sped up like a car indefinitely, it don't exist, right? So I got speed indefinitely equals non-existence, okay? So we will disappear, basically, and not exist. If we were moving at a fast rate, okay, we would just disappear. Basically, is what she was saying, and won't exist. So basically, what she was trying to tell everybody that we just appear because time is slowed down. Basically, it is actual time is the proof of actual existence. Okay, time gives matter, matter gives existence. Time only is the only true measure of. I'm sorry. Time is the only true unit of measure. Is what I wrote. And then we go on to the next page where I says, time slows information overload and allow things to exist or be born. Okay. So basically, matter equals man, energy equals God, and they get connected and form what equals infinite intelligence, or intel is what I wrote. And basically, you become like superhuman according to the movie Lucy, with infinite intelligence and abilities to travel and communicate through time. And this is where I got time travel. Okay, she was also able to control time, access akashic records, past, present, and future. This is all in the movie. And basically, she showed you how they're all on the same timeline if you just tap in, tune in. So she basically became a universal being back into its original form or state where she became non existent, but she still existed everywhere. A man said in the movie, "Where'd she go?" And she said, "I'm everywhere." So that's like her turning into God once she reached 100% of her mental capacity and using her brain. She also became like this superhuman, was able to move people and know everything and control people and matter and things and objects, okay? So basically, to sum this up, life, she said at the end of the movie, life given to us a billion years ago, now what you gonna do with it? So all that to say this. She basically told us, or they did. Y'all know who I mean by saying they, right? They basically told us why we exist, how we exist, and those are the greatest questions we have as human beings. So, hopefully you got everything I was dropping, because them was gems. Okay, them was gems. And if you haven't watched the movie, I recommend it highly. 10 out of 10 is a 20, okay? It's a 20. So yeah. So basically, what else I put? We're on Earth because of time. Saturn rules the Earth sign of Capricorn. Saturn also rules time. Time equals existence. Without it, we don't exist. So at the end of the movie, one of my favorite actors, Morgan Freeman, said, mankind are not ready for it. They're too driven by power and profit, and it can bring instability and chaos. This is what he told Lucy. And she says, ignorance equals chaos. So basically, she was leaving all this information behind. She was living her life purpose, passing down this information at the end of the movie because it was the end of her time. So again, and I'm going to say that and leave y'all with this. This movie gave us the answer to why are we here, how we got here, and what are we here to do? What is our life purpose? What is the purpose to life? This answered all of those questions. Now, it's up to you whether you believe it or not. Hey, I'm just the messenger. But I was told by the universe, God, that this movie has some truth to it. Okay? That it's really real. Because when you think about it, nothing even exists without us